But I have taken an excerpt from one of the last edition of the Cosmic Conspiracy, updated it a bit, and put it in there to explain about that asteroid belt and about the surface of Mars and why half of it has crud all over it and why there's a long gash in it. It was either a small planet, a planetoid, about 300 to 600 miles in diameter that occupied what is now the asteroid belt, or there was a moon about that size and a planet together there. But it broke up, whether it was due to the spin of the sun changing, slowing down, which closes out gravitational orbits. Planets orbit where they have to. They can't orbit arbitrarily at some radius around the sun. They have to be in a null gravitational zone between the divergent and convergent waves coming out from the spin center of the sun's gravity. So we think the asteroid belt is in transit at the moment. It's being broken up because the layer that used to form a null where a planet could hold that orbit is now closing out, where the divergent convergent waves are canceling, which means that the planet broke up because it could no longer be supported because it was being sheared by the gravitational changes, and whether it was the planetoid or a moon of it, ended up bouncing out of that orbit and hitting the surface of Mars. And you'll see that the surface of Mars has a lot of red dust on it, which is not indigenous to the planet. It is off-world junk, which probably came from this breakup. The gash on the surface of Mars, it impacts and spreads out like an impact cone, if you wish, like a long triangular cone. And the face on Mars, a farse, as I call it, by all these people trying to tell us it was a face in that debris and everything. If you look at the satellite photos that NASA has, early ones and later ones, you will see that all of those crystalline shapes like pyramids in that area, and even the face piece itself, are on pieces or large pieces of a curved surface that impacted and unfolded on the surface of Mars. Planets and planetoids, when they cool, form, and this is no secret, like the Earth has it too, there are mountains of mass underneath the Earth, on the surface, that connect to the surface but point down like structures into the Earth as it cools and it crystallizes. And so these are large crystalline structures that were formed inside of a 300 to 600 mile diameter object that impacted, broke apart, and it impacted reasonably slowly. It was first trapped, as the dust was, in an orbit around Mars. The orbit decayed. It wasn't a high-speed thing, in other words, and it impacted on the surface of Mars relatively slowly, which then allowed the sphere to break and its innards be exposed to the surface of the planet and become like pyramids or crystalline structures. And the evidence is there. Even the curl of the plate, which was originally the surface of the planetoid, helps us to determine the curved radius of the structure that hit. And then looking at the mass, which is distributed around, you can kind of put all those together and estimate the size of the mass. So I think we'll find water on Mars, and a lot of it. And I think we'll find a lot of other things buried on Mars, which would be of quite interest to us once you get past all the red dust that came as a result of the planetoid breakup, or planet breakup and orbital moon orbit in the asteroid belt. That's a long way to answer your question, but go and look at Face of Mars PDF I've got, and I've got pictures in there to explain in better detail than what I just did what I think happened there and why the evidence displays that.